Almost April. We're here to celebrate. Sports is back. Is sports back, Wetzel?
I mean, I think it is. I think we're finally getting there.
That is not the energy. Sports is back. Is sports back, Wetzel?
You know what I had on before? I have this sweatshirt on because I always wear sweatshirt these days, obviously, like everyone else. But I had my Browns, my brown shirt that just says, I can't remember who made it. It just says sports.
Nice.
In orange. Is it? It says sports.
Almost like Animal House.
Yeah, I should have kept it on. I was like, we wear it. Who cares what I look like right now? But whatever, it's fine. I'm gonna wash my hair in like 5 days, so.
Holly Wetzel, hair there. Andy Billman, no hair here. Beer pretzels for life. Someone retaught me that 2 weeks ago. I want to thank Holly Wetzel. I don't eat as bad as I would love to eat. She's great. She reintroduced me to something called a beer pretzel with cheese. It was so fucking good that I ordered 2.
You're like, can I get another one? I'm going to eat this in my hotel room. I was like, she's like, do you want me to get? You're like, no. Just bring it out to the table and leave it here. I may pick at it. And then from there, and I'm like, all right, Andy, like, welcome to, 21st century of, a soft pretzel with cheese is a very
delicious.
I'm glad that I'm the person that you go to eat shitty with because.
Oh yeah. There's no salads.
Well, Andy, I got blood work done a couple weeks ago.
Uh-oh.
And my cholesterol was a little elevated.
And you jog a lot.
I run 5-6 days a week for God's sakes. And I'm clocking in. I'm just about to hit 700 miles.
Congratulations, by the way.
March 30th is my anniversary of running.
That's awesome.
Thanks. And it's been great. And then I go to the doctor and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? My cholesterol is up? Like, what? So then I was talking to my friend that's a nurse and she's like, okay, well, what did you eat? Like, did you fast? I was like, well, kind of. And she's like, okay, well, what did you eat the night before? I was like, pretzels. And she's like, Jesus. Okay. What time was that? I'm like, 11. She's like, oh, Jesus, what time was your appointment? I'm like, 9 a.m. She's like, okay, there's one. And then she's like, what'd you have for dinner? I'm like, Trader Joe's orange chicken. I said, with a glass of wine, because we did the podcast. And she's like, oh my God, no wonder. So, I also eat way too much cheese. My mother lets me know that all the time. She's like, you really need to cut back on the cheese. So, I will. I'm trying, but I like cheese and I like red meat. I don't know.
She is a Midwestern gal.
I order with you. Well, you know what I did? I ordered it. I had just found out about it was a week after. I ordered a grilled chicken sandwich with you. Mm-hmm. But then I ate like at least half of that pretzel, right?
Oh, yeah.
I ate a shit ton of French fries and then beer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not there yet to the point. I emailed my doctor. It's all freaked out. And he's like, you need to chill. We go by the ratio now for cholesterol. And your ratio has not changed. It's the same thing. Good. And he's like, don't eat orange chicken the night before you get blood work done. How about that? Or drink wine. I'm like, well. Noted.
So for those of you getting your cholesterol checked, you better put that fucking wine down.
That's
and
right.
You better put that orange chicken away. Drew Saul, good to have you in the room. Alumni of the show, Jared Watson. Priscilla wants to know if Holly wants to talk. Laugh out loud. Priscilla, I give Holly all the chances in the world to talk. I just get sometimes excited about sports. And I slept at your house. I ate your fine meats. And I sometimes talk a lot. Holly and I just talked about that.
He's okay. I start talking and I can just keep going. And I'm like, you're kidding, right? Of course.
Did you know I like to talk?
The famous line I do, which I don't know why I fucking say this, I'm like, that's why I like sports. It's like, I'm a fucking idiot. They don't know that. It's like, Jesus, the sky's blue. I mean, come on. So, anyways, today, thank you, Priscilla. Love your dogs.
Thank you.
Hi,
Jared.
This happy family's gonna be at the draft soon, by the way. More to come. Speaking about the draft, I want to start the show off with March Madness because I love March Madness. I'm sure people who don't know watch the show. I talk about it all the time. I do love March Madness, and I love the NFL draft being in Cleveland. Love it. I felt like Holly and I talked about this a couple times on and off the air. So we'll start here. I feel like sports is back, and the ratings for March Madness that haven't been like award winning or like record breaking, but for the first time, the overall census from ratings is that people are watching sports normally. It's actually on a normal tick. It is doing well. And I thought the games were wonderful and it's coming back on Saturday. I thought the games were wonderful. And I felt like with that and the draft coming to Cleveland and obviously the Browns off season, I know the Cavs are not playing well, and we'll get to them at the end of the show. And the Indians are the Indians right now, and they're in spring training. But Holly, I felt like sports is back. It is not just something I'm seeing and experiencing March Madness. It sounds like from ratings that they are back. And the draft, I think, helps. It gives us some bump of energy.
Well, it was about time, too, that the draft, finally, there were some details that were released, and now they're doing a little bit of press on it and what's to come. And they're trying to keep it as normal as possible from other years, which I think is great. I've been, we've talked about this before, on the fence of whether or not this year makes sense for Cleveland or not. Do you punt it still? Do you try to get another year? The next couple years because of COVID? Downtown's state of affairs right now is a little iffy with what's open, what's not.
Yep.
I was down there today, and some bars that have been boarded up and stuff actually had stuff down. So I'm like, well, maybe they're going to start opening up, at least maybe for the draft. And it looks like within the draft, there was a little note. There's a taste of Cleveland type thing they're doing with restaurants opening. So look, I hope that it is as normal as it can be. And I think because of that too, hearing that things are, and look, a lot of people are getting vaccinated, at least in Ohio, I think the 29th Monday, all adults are eligible.
Connecticut's the first. It's coming.
Yeah. So it's, we're finally turning the corner. I mean, to not have to wear a mask is going to be a really great thing, and to be able to go out like normal. Cases are going down for the most part from what I've seen. Not that I haven't been following it every day, but no. And I think with March Madness, kind of going back to that, if you think they fell, it looks like the ratings were up from 2018 or 2019. They weren't as high, right? But they were up a little bit from that one, some of the years. So it was kind of in the mix.
It was in the mix, but the biggest overall stamp was they're steady. And that's a win, because even the other Super Bowl ratings are way down. Every other ratings were way down. They're steady. And to Holly's point, they're actually up from certain years too, which means maybe sports is back. When I watched March Madness, I really felt for the first time sports was normalized. We love the Browns. We love the Cavs. We love the Indians. All these games this year, the Browns was wonderful for a good example, but it didn't feel quite like – it was great and you were into the games, but it still didn't feel like a time sports was back. With fans in the stands, even with masks on, and with these teams in the tournament, Holly, I felt like sports were back. I just did. These games, even though it was still empty for the most part, these games were electric. You could see the players going towards the fans and mom and dad. You could feel the energy. It felt like normal energy. You didn't see cardboard cutouts or weird graphics or noise machines. Like, it felt normal. And I relayed this to you, and Jared and I talked about it too. Like, the tournament's great. It's a great sign to see something like the tournament have a normal bounce. Just a bounce, like it's steady. It's good to see. It just feels good.
It is. And as fun as March Madness is in the tournament and the brackets, and it's fun to see all the big upsets and, kind of a crazy year about, Duke not making the tournament and, a lot of fun Cinderellas kind of getting into, especially the Sweet 16 and especially, OU pulling their
great
on Saturday. So, and a big upset for Ohio State, so there's definitely a lot of ups and downs, but that's what makes it so fun. And last year we didn't get to have it. So, I agree. I think we're turning the corner 100%. We really are across the board. And it always helps too, I think, when the weather gets nicer, just in general.
I agree.
Moods just change like that. Look, seasonal depression is obviously a real thing, but I think just in the sense of at least in Cleveland this week, it was beautiful. We've
Beautiful in
actually had
Connecticut.
really nice weather for the most part. The last couple weeks, we've barely had any rain. It's been sunny, maybe a little bit cooler, but just it's amazing what the sunshine can do. So,
To Holly's point, when it rains and you're in a pandemic, it rained a lot during the pandemic in Connecticut. I believe it was the same too for Cleveland. You kind of feel trapped. You kind of feel like this, like we're fucked. We're the apocalypse. Like you really do. And to Holly's point, sunshine, great. The basketball, just to go down the sports road, was wonderful. Even Syracuse, West Virginia, great game. Rutgers, who shit the bed, great game. Ohio State, I know Oral Roberts won. Oral Roberts won twice, but God, great
so
game.
does that make you feel better? I don't know. If I was a Ohio State fan, I'd feel better that Oral Roberts won.
Yes.
You know?
When I'm a Purdue fan, as I am, and North Texas gets blown out by Villanova, I'm like, well, that fucking sucks. That means that game didn't have as much value. And this year, the tournament storylines are still there. You could see real fan emotion. It was just tremendous. It was just home run stuff. I'm glad. And to follow it up, now going to the draft, it's great to have the draft back in Cleveland. I've been doing a lot of traveling back again recently, working on a film. So I had the pleasure of stopping in some places. And I was in Detroit for a little bit. And I know people are probably like, well, you know, Cleveland's not doing so hot. Compared to other things I'm seeing, like Detroit, Hartford, Cleveland's actually doing not bad. It really isn't. It's doing actually pretty good in some aspects.
We're definitely up on the up and up. And I think the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission has done such a great job of your events here, and really trying to bring some revenue to the city. And I don't doubt that what they put on with the draft with the NFL is going to be top notch. I'm sure of it. I hope to God the weather cooperates at least a little bit. I know that they have some contingency plans and that they'll hold stuff maybe in the stadium or the Rock Hall. I hope that some major potential draft picks show up as well.
You hope so.
In person, I'm hoping that's the case, just to give it some buzz. That's what I'm a little worried about, that we're having a lot of buildup for something and it doesn't go, if people don't show up, it doesn't go as planned, whatever.
Well,
but I don't doubt that the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission will do a great job at least. So
the number one factor is Commissioner Goodell, and he's coming. And that is number one. And the other big thing for me, and I agree with you about players, I'll give you a caveat. I think number one's commissioner. I really do. Because once you have your host and he's there live in person, it feels official. Yeah, I'm not saying he's the most important guy there, but he is the game show host.
A big presence, Andy. If he shows up and puts himself out there like that, then that's a big deal. And I think other players, and not just draft picks, but other players, other current Browns players coming back for it. Obviously Hall of Famers, that are going to be doing a lot of the calls on the second night, or the picks on the second night. I'm hoping that we get a good showing.
I think we will. And I'll tell you the other big one. And howdy, Damon. Good to see you. Damon Ficello, my fan lover, who's always on my Instagram page. Love you, Damien. Friend of the show. I think the biggest thing, too, is seeing fans come in from other cities. Because I'm just going to take one fan base that's not a Browns fan. Browns fans will be there. We don't know. We will love this. The Jets fans are a step below Browns, but they're right there. They love the draft. The Jets take the draft just as seriously as the Browns do. Jets fans have the number 2 pick. If Jets fans are around and you see those hats and you say, Jets, 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 that to me is a good sign. Mm-hmm. That to me is like, all right, we're back. Yep. We're cool. Like, I want to hear that. Like, I don't like it, but I want to hear that. Like, I want to hear that vibe. We're all being truthful. Jacksonville's probably not going to get anybody there. And Jaguars have no fans. But the Jets do. The Jets do. And that's just a straight shot on 80. Right from the city.
Oh, yeah. So I think, absolutely. And they're saying the hotels are already booked up. And and so forth. So, I mean.
As one good testimony, just bought a Airbnb today in Tremont.
Ladies, let them know, Andy.
We might do a Friday show. Maybe we can go to Fahrenheit. Jared and I and you do a Fahrenheit show. Right in Tremont.
I know people.
Or we go to that tree bar. Boy, do I have some stories.
Oh, the tree house is cool. Yeah.
Oh, it's a great bar. That might be fun.
I haven't been out to the bars in a long time.
No.
You know what, Andy? The last time I went out to a bar, this was my friend and I went out like a couple weeks ago. for the first time like in a while. Obviously, that because it was one of the first nights that there was no curfew.
Oh, right.
And I got hit on by a guy that was my dad's age, and another guy was like, "What are you hoes up to tonight?" And I'm like,
"Oh God, that's terrible."
In just a very generic conversation that we were having, and then I found out he follows me on Twitter.
Oh, good.
And I'm like, wonderful. So now this guy's going to be giving me shit, I'm sure. But we got into it because I take that back. I was so stunned that he said that because like we were in a conversation and he just let that rip. And my friend behind me was like, what did you just say? I mean, she about went at him and I'm like, she's like my bodyguard. And it was, I mean, he started to get obviously really defensive about it and stuff, but it's just like, this is what we go out for. I mean, it's ridiculous. So anyways, I had to share that because that was in Tremont, Andy. So just don't be
good.
that.
Perfect. Can't wait to meet him.
Would be.
Can't wait to meet him. Can't wait to meet him. Sounds like a great guy. If he loves the show, good friend, good dude. Better hit that like, sir. I only see one like tonight. You better hit that like, sir, if you're watching this. Tappy. Anyways, drafts come to Cleveland. That's great. Transition hard. Everybody's probably waiting for this. Does Holly Wetzel want Jadeveon Clowney in Cleveland?
I don't know. I was reading about, him coming back, and it brought me back to last year and the whole thing. And obviously last year wasn't the fit, and thought he was, maybe he thought he was better than Cleveland at the time, and he was looking out for himself, which most of those guys do. So I understand that. And they're saying that maybe so much it wasn't about, he left here without a contract. Fine. But, I also read a little bit that, it could have been just a trip too for us, for the Browns, to see whether or not is he healing the right way from his own injury and all of that, and to see where his head's at. So I think that there's a couple things. I think if anything we've learned on this offseason is that Andrew Berry does know what he's doing.
Oh my God, yes.
And every move, say, analytics, man, I jumped on this like weird, what is this analytics BS, but it does something. There's definitely a major element to it. And he's smart with these contracts. I mean, he's a numbers guy and it's unbelievable what he's been able to finagle. And so I believe in him. And I think with Clowney, I think as much as maybe people think we were trying to court him, I almost think that maybe we were trying to also show, do we want him? Will he be a good fit? Because culturally, I don't know. I don't know. You want to just think that, look, maybe last year it wasn't meant to be for whatever reason. And it's not like he badmouthed the Browns or whatever. It just is what it is. But sure, look, if we bring him on, he'd be an excellent asset. I'd love to have him. I think he's obviously very proven himself. So yeah, for sure.
Let's take, I think Clowney is everything you said. I think Clowney's coming here to sniff if he really wants to come. But the Browns are also saying, hey, we would like to have you. We don't need to have you. Mm-hmm. We would like for you to play, but you're going to play with what we have here. Mm-hmm. Holly brings up a point that I was going to bring up. That's been a big topic with Jared and with other people, all these shows. Pick a Ken Carmen, pick the show. They all talk about it. This is the Andrew Berry house. Have people contributed throughout the years? Oh, sure. This is the Andrew Berry show. This is the Andrew Berry house. The moves that he makes are calculated, smart, swift, and for one thing, to win fucking ball games. Mm-hmm. This is like, we've been through analytics, Sashi Brown. Did this feel like to you analytics, Sashi Brown, at all? No. How much we love Dorsey. Did this feel like Dorsey?
No, we got the picks. We got the picks from Sashi, but
look, Holly Wetzel, Jared Watson, and I could run the Browns and do about the same job. I'm just gonna do this for everybody who wants to. Sashi Brown was one field goal kick away against the Chargers from going 0-32. One.
Hey, you don't got to convince me. He clearly wasn't the fix.
He was not good, and he stunk. He stunk. Yes. Holly, Jared, and I could do the same shit draft Corey Coleman, make stupid trades, sign players who look good. No one likes each other. We're calling plays on the sideline. Hey, this is Andy Billman. Hey, yeah, sir. Hey, can you call a different play? Like, thanks. Like, we could do everything. We're gonna sit in team meetings. None of us have experience.
Well, I know, but he got again. It came down, got us the picks, Andy, which that's okay, fine. We use it. He was like a little stepping stone on the ladder. It's like whoop, going right over you. But we got us to the next step. Not the way that we ever wanted it to be. And I think a lot of people wanted to keep Dorsey too. By the way, remember that?
Well, that's different. Sashi Brown to me was a sideways move. I actually will say he went down. It was that bad, folks. 131 was really fucking bad. It was bad. I don't want to relive it today, but it was bad. That fucking guy, nice guy, I'm sure. It blew. Sorry. Take care. Bye. Now Dorsey's different. Dorsey did some things. He added some pieces. He added a zip. The Landry trade started it all off. It was a wonderful trade. It set the tone and culture. We all know about Baker Mayfield. We all know about Denzel Ward. He got Nick Chubb. Those are all pillars of an organization. There's no question.
Mm-hmm.
He did, though, say after a press conference, we're not getting rid of Duke Johnson yet. He did hire Freddie Kitchens.
Well, that's and when it comes down to it, when everyone Dorsey didn't do that. Well, Dorsey, and I'm like, Freddie Kitchens, and that just there were so many things throughout that year that we don't need to revisit or throughout that season, but that was what sealed it for me. I'm like, I just can't trust.
Yeah.
I mean, with such a major move like that, how could you be so off?
Yeah. I mean, look, and Damian with a good comment. I'll be honest, I wanted Dorsey to stay, but Andrew Berry is doing so good, I'm going to call him my dad. Damian, I wanted John Dorsey to stay. I think many other people wanted him to stay.
People did.
Because I liked his energy. However, that was the correct move. Because you know why? There was still instability in the building. The guy who deserves the credit, who has done a wonderful job of stepping out of the spotlight, is Paul DePodesta. He has done a great job.
Yep.
That guy stuck his neck on the line saying, no, Dorsey's got to go.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to go. And that was the right call. I like John. John to me is very different. John has his imprints on his team. That's different. Sashi Brown, fuck no. Dorsey does. Dorsey's got his imprints everywhere. You can see it. But he could not have ever taken this team to even close to the heights that I'm seeing Andrew Berry and more importantly Stefanski. Like these two guys have built. I can't get over how excited I am about the Browns next year. It's March 25th. I think they're going to Super Bowl. I just do.
Yeah, I mean, look, Barry's setting them up, man. Just those little building blocks. He had a great offseason with the signs, we have, and he's not done with the draft. I think he's going to continue it, and I'm with you. I can't wait. It's honestly, it is April next week. Like things are going to fly by. I mean, we're going to be training camp. Man, there might be fans for training camp.
This is going to be the first year when we watch a draft and we're sipping champagne. Not because of a player we drafted, because we know we're on our fucking way. There is no questions. Is Baker our quarterback? Boy, is anybody debating about Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield now? Mm-mm.
That's funny, right? Like
all that shit. All that shit.
Andy, and that's a great point of just like it can go away like that. Like if you're not, and you got to wonder. Look, I haven't read every single detail, so if I'm not hitting everything, apologize in advance. But from what I've gathered, there's still a lot of unknown, and there's no civil charges filed, and there are no criminal charges filed, only civil. And it's like you start to get into the weeds with that stuff. You don't know the situation for each victim, right? But at the end of the day, with all of this stuff, you got to wonder, why he wanted out of Houston so bad, and Houston wanted to keep him. And you got to wonder, did Houston look? Teams are not foreign to covering up shit for their players. Clearly, we know that. So do I think that they're like, whoa, this is conspiracy. They let this stuff out right around when he wants out. And it's like, he didn't say he wanted out for a while. And I think, honestly, Houston, if they were covering up shit to a certain extent, they're probably, well, then fuck you. And they're not holding anything back. I mean, I know that it happened in Cleveland when LeBron left. People were pissed. I think that's a big reason why in my opinion, I think the reason why Dan Gilbert was so pissed was because there's a lot of shit that he covered up for LeBron. And LeBron got away with a lot here. And not that LeBron's been able to keep a super low profile with a lot of things, I mean, he keeps his head, ducked and what have you. But I know that that's a case too. It goes across the board. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, yeah, well, you know what? We were trying to keep this all in-house here to a certain extent. And sorry, man, our production's gone to, whatever that production was. That's just me spitballing. But.
Well, here's what I think about Mr. Watson. When you have, I think it's now up to 14. I might be wrong. But let's say it's 14. That's a lot.
Well, yeah, that's not
that's a lot.
Right.
And he has got a big uphill climb to go. And I know enough about this to know where there is a lot of smoke and there's a lot of smoke now. There's probably some truthful fire. I think there's a touch of gray here. I don't think there's some murkiness for sure. But there's some things here that are going to need some real cleaning and some real explanations.
Yes. And
it's not going to be quick and easy. And I think Holly said, and I was going to say the same thing. Ferris Bueller, life moves pretty fast. If you don't look around sometime, you just might miss it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what happened to Deshaun. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying whatever. But, boy, it has changed in 6 weeks.
Well, and so many people, these guys, athletes, professional athletes, and men in very high positions in corporations and stuff, in positions of power, think they're untouchable, because they've gotten away with shit for so long and they've crossed and blurred those lines. And not everything needs to be a criminal offense. Right. You can do something that makes someone uncomfortable, that's inappropriate, that's not right. Doesn't mean you need to be filed criminal charges against. It's just
no.
With that whole, well, it's not criminal. It's like, well, maybe because it wasn't a criminal offense.
Right. Well, Holly can speak to this. Is it easy to come out and talk about anything uncomfortable to the press and public? No, it's not. Like we've all been in situations in our lives where it's like, I could go to it's hard. It's a big decision.
It's a very scary thing. And I think that's for these women to come forward. That's
it's not easy, folks.
There's going to be some people that aren't fully truthful. Of course, that's always going to happen. But like you said, 14.
That's a lot.
And these guys are these guys that these athletes are, all these men, they aren't superheroes. They aren't untouchable. These things do happen. And I think that he's been able to get away with it on a lot of different fronts. I don't think Houston was the main reason why he never got caught. I just think that I'm sure that played a factor in it. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
because as you and I well know, there's so many things that get covered up by these teams and beyond and companies to protect the number ones.
Yep.
The Indians are fully going through some of that right now. So
yes, they are.
Who looked, this pristine image. It's not that all the time.
Nope. It's interesting how life changes. And it actually changed for us Browns fans in the better. Because the Browns now are so much better.
Oh, yeah. We had to hit rock bottom, man. Sometimes you got to do that, right? To build yourself back up.
We had to lose all of our teeth.
Everything.
When I sat in the Ravens game, and what was it, 17 or 18? The year we went 0-16. And I was with my son Cameron and Jackson. We went to the last home game. And we sat there and watched it. And it was not warm. And we sat there and watched it. I go, this is bad. And it was so bad. It felt like the old Indians from the 80s. Like half the stadium's empty. Guys are just shouting out stuff. Like nothing just I mean, if you win the Indians games when they're bad, like you'll hear some crap. Browns, I mean, but it's just so great to see how far we've come and how exciting it is. Because the draft, when we're there, It's not just about celebrating a new player, which it will be. It's celebrating the excitement and the reality that the Browns are going to be really fucking good. And they already are.
Yeah.
They already are.
Yeah, and I think I've said this before, but I used to watch Monday Night Football and be like, I wish we were that good. These look like really good football teams. Like I'm serious. I was very much like dreaming about it one day. So it's so cool that like, oh, we're gonna watch Sunday 1:00. Like that's just
oh yeah. Oh my God, the team has all the timeouts at the end of the first and second half. like things like that. Like Holly's right. Like it is just amazing. It really, really is amazing. Yeah, Brown has his imprint on this team, 1-31. Exactly, Damian. Sashi Brown, nothing against you. I'll have a beer with you, but come on. We could have Holly and I could have ran the Browns. It would have been about the same.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about Claypool also? Let's just take a little victory lap. It's fucking fun. It's great seeing the Steelers be a mess. It's great.
Oh yeah.
It's just wonderful.
Are you surprised by Big Ben coming back, honestly, or no?
I think the Steelers are finally, in my lifetime, fucking screwed, and I think it's great. They're over the cap. They have a quarterback they don't know what to do with. They have a mess of a situation internally. They have a very good coach, but they have a lot of things that are just a mess. I have never seen this in my lifetime as a Browns fan, where it's like, I don't know how the Steelers get out of this. I don't know how they get out of this. I don't know what you do. Like, Big Ben's won you Super Bowls. I think it's the right thing to do to bring him back, actually. I'm actually that guy. Like, if the Browns – oh, God.
I would too. I mean, look. They still won 8 games. They still won 8-0 at the beginning, the first 8 games, right? It was 8 or 9 games.
They're very good. They're very good.
So it's not like they were like – yeah, he fell a little bit far from grace a little bit at the end, but he still won 8 games in a row. I mean, that's insane. So, no, I bring it back, right? And especially since if he's not done and he sees Tom Brady fucking rolling right past his ass, then yeah, I'm coming back. I'm going to try to be in the same race a little bit.
Hey, look, he's got to pay them bills. He's going to take that cash. I mean, he's got to. And he's going to. Now, look, we can't get too cocky, but I'll get cocky about this one. It is funny how that game has switched. The flip has switched.
Well, it's about damn time.
I mean, thank you. How many times did you see? How many times did you see that fucking goddamn swan and Johnny Manziel drowning in that pool? And it's like, and then today it's like, that was on TMZ, and it's like, oh, Claypool, I want to fight. Oh, I remember these days.
Yeah.
That's your future, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's your future.
Right. I know they are.
Enjoy.
They're having to fall from grace, and I'm here for it because they relished in it. You're right, they relished in it, and it's just it's so nice to be above that. So I will say that's to be above that. But what I will say too is I really hope, by the way, that we do stay above it. Not that I have doubts. We've talked about this before too. COVID kind of put a leash on everybody across the board.
Yes.
What they could and couldn't do. Everyone stayed home. Everybody could. I mean, you couldn't go to a fucking restaurant without possibly exposing yourself.
Browns had COVID. They had COVID within practice. They had injuries every day. The Browns had nothing normal. That's why I'm excited. The Browns had nothing normal last year. All they did is win games.
Yeah.
That's all they did is win games. That's it.
Right. So I'm hoping on that front that mentality of they were so focused on what was the game at hand and the issues at hand that they had to deal with. They were home and working and doing what they needed to do and prepping and having to put in so much extra prep time for a Zoom call to run plays. I mean, all of that stuff, they had to force themselves to really get engulfed in it. And they're not going to have to do it to that extent, hopefully this year by any means. And I just hope that mentality though stays. And I do believe though that the culture that Stefanski has set, I think COVID, despite all the terrible things it's done from a Browns preparation, I think it's done really good things for them because I think at the end of the day, they became way more of a team. The culture improved. They're a lot closer. There's a trust from top to bottom, and that stuff doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, and I think COVID kind of forced the hand with that. So I just hope that it does because I don't want to hear I don't hear or see drag racing going on where I live because that's what happened last time. You know what I'm saying? I just want them to stay out of trouble, and I don't want any stupid mistakes. I don't want to go down that path ever again.
Damian, Holly Wetzel's not going to have her flags out. No.
I know, I did say that, but I'm saying when they go to the Super Bowl, I will.
Oh, God. Oh, that'll be dumb. We'll all be out there. Cameron Billman will be out there waving flags. We'll all be doing all sorts of things in that parade. Damian doing a great job tonight in the show. Damian, yes, bring him back so he can throw interceptions again.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, look, he has been a dickhead to the Browns. He makes a point. I mean, when his goddamn articles, I'm from Ohio and I don't like the Browns. It's fucking time to get.
Yeah, but like, why does that like make you like? What's so great about that?
Oh,
like,
he's that fucking.
And not just him, that like people in general, they're like, oh, I'm from Ohio or Cleveland. I'm not a Browns fan. I'm a Steelers fan. It's like, what do you fucking do? I don't care. Like, that's fine. Pittsburgh is 2 hours from here. I'm not surprised that there's Steelers fans in the area. I'm not.
Those days are going away. Those days are going bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. I want to see you wear that Juju Smith-Schuster jersey proudly next year. That Claypool jersey proudly.
What's he thinking too?
Oof. It's great.
Less money?
That's great. Let that team suffer.
Andy, I wonder the real story behind that. I just don't buy that. I don't buy what. I don't know who he turned down. Has there been anything official that came out that he turned down more money for?
No, I think
because maybe nobody wants his antics.
I mean, do you want a guy before every game to dance on a fucking logo on TikTok?
They don't want you.
Come on. I mean, if Holly and I are on TikTok, fine. But Juju Smith-Schuster, no. Again, it goes back to my point. If I and Jared and Holly wear Pittsburgh starter first T-shirts, it's good. When you're the head coach of the Browns, you don't wear it. When you're a player for the Steelers, you don't dance on logos before the game. Just play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Damian, again, Pittsburgh fans should know to stay out of Cleveland now. Yeah, I agreed. Those days, I'll tell you what he's talking about, and I get it. The migrating end of the year games where it's like we're in First Energy Stadium or are we in Heinz Field? And it's like, oh, here we go. All the yellow and black, and there's no brown and orange. And, we're 3-12.
I think they'll continue to come in, but I think we're going to be infiltrating Pittsburgh quite a bit more.
Look, they're a good fan base, so they'll travel. But it's not going to be like those days where, like, there was a game, God, it was like in 12 or 13, it was years ago, almost 10 years ago, where it was, again, one of those classic end of the year Steelers-Browns games, and it felt like it was a Steelers home game. It was bad.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with Indians when the Yankees fans would come here when the Indians were that good. It's covered in Yankee fans. For the World Series, I was at a couple of the games.
That was a joke.
And it was all Cubs fans. I was surrounded by Cubs fans. So some of those teams, they do. I mean, well, the Cubs are a little bit different. Obviously they're not the Steelers in that sense of traveling because they're good every year. But it's just the reality of it. But I think that as much as we would love for them to stay out of here, there are a lot of Steelers fans here.
Like there are.
Pittsburgh is only 2 hours away. Like, there are a lot.
Yeah. The closest proximity of teams between two teams in the NFL, there's no one closer than Pittsburgh and Cleveland is the closest. I think it's 78, 80 miles or something like that.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know, I could be IKEA out there.
Yeah, I'm sure I just did the geography math wrong, but, a lot to be said. All right, we're going to do a quick game. Now, people are probably like, are the Browns really that good? Well, I told Holly, Mike, we're going to do a game. And you tell me what you truthfully all think out there, as we'll go through them real quick. Because I'm telling you, the Browns are really that good already. Now, look, there's a lot of shit going to happen, blah, blah. September, come back. But it's like, let's go through, what's the start in the AFC? Are the Browns better than the Jets?
Yes.
Patriots? Yeah.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah. They made a lot of off-season moves, but continue.
Okay, that's twofold. Are they better than Dolphins?
Yes.
Yes. Are they better than the Bills? This one's a little trickier.
I think so. I think we could have beat the Bills.
4-4. Steelers?
Yes, we beat them twice. You're welcome.
Ravens? Ravens is tough.
I might say no.
Okay. So that's the first one. I say on par. They are on par. They need to beat them next year. I don't think that they're worse than them. I think
need to make a decision.
What's up?
Yes or no?
Um,
Not this on part. Make a decision.
They are better than them, yes. So, but that's the first one. Okay,
Yep.
Bengals. Is it Bengals? Bengals?
Yes.
Are they have a team? Okay, good. Texans. Colts. Colts.
Yes.
By the way, the Texans play the Browns this year. Jaguars.
Yeah.
And then Titans.
Yes.
Yes. Raiders. I guess I say yes.
Yeah.
I'll lead off. Yep. Chargers.
Yes.
Don't get hooked in on a Gilbert, folks. He's a good quarterback. That team's got a long road to go.
They
Don't
do. I know. I need to go off right now. Like,
yeah. The Donkeys, Denver. They're better than Denver. John Elway's not there anymore.
Okay. I'll give you that.
The Chiefs is tough to say. I will say not yet.
No, not yet. So
that's one team. One team so far, everybody. Okay.
That's
NFC.
Two. Oh, for this week, yeah.
Yeah, for this week, all right? So one team right now, the Chiefs. NFC least, Giants, Cowboys, Redskins.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean all of them, right? And then Cowboys. Who am I forgetting? Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, Redskins. No, they're all no.
Eagles, Giants,
Cowboys, Redskins.
Cowboys.
Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, Redskins. They're better than all those teams. Eagles are awful. Eagles are awful. Giants.
Cowboys. I'm a little.
That beat them in Dallas when they were pumping full. They're better than Cowboys. Does anybody want Mike McCarthy back? The NFC North, who we play next year? Bears? Nope. Ain't no quarterback.
Oh, who they got this year? What's his face? They paid a crap ton for. Why am I blanking on this?
Wincy. No, it's not Wincy. It's what's his name?
What's his face? Redhead. Why am I blanking on him?
Oh man.
From the Bengals.
Oh, Dalton.
Thank you. Didn't they sign him a big contract for a year or two? Or just a year?
Love that guy. You'll love him. He goes a steady 6-10 better than anybody. Looking forward to beating you. The Lions. Green Bay. I say no to Green Bay. Not there yet. Green Bay is very good. Aaron Rodgers can still play. And then Vikings. I think they're better than the Vikings.
I don't know. Vikings.
Kirk Cousins in a big spot.
I'd say no. So I'm at 4.
Okay. NFC West. Seahawks.
No.
I think they're better than Seahawks. 49ers. I do. I think they're better than Seahawks. 49ers.
Some of these are such a toss-up with like per game, right? I mean, without trying to be too biased.
I think they're better than them.
Okay, fine. I'll say yes.
The Rams, are you a Matt Stafford believer? I'm not.
I think yes, struggle. So I'll say no.
I think Stafford stinks and he's overrated. And he's a nice kid. Hasn't won big games. Sorry. I think the Rams are in for a big shock. Big shock. Damien, you're welcome for Denver Donkeys. You're welcome. And then the 17th game is against the Arizona Cardinals. The J.J. Watt Bowl. The Heisman Bowl. Aaron Murray. You're going to be playing in this year.
I think we're going to beat that. Yeah.
I think so. I think so too.
So I'm at 6.
Okay, so AFC South. Saints. No Drew Brees.
Yeah, who they got
what's his name?
Winston.
Guy, yeah, Winston. That should be fun. Let me know how that works out. We've been down these roads. Oh, we're gonna put RG3 in there and we're gonna win games. Okay. Hey, take care.
All you Saints.
Panthers still trying to find a quarterback. No. Let's see. Tampa Bay, yes, they're Super Bowl champs, so yes. And they brought everyone back.
Yep.
And then the Falcons, they are absolutely awful.
Yep.
Absolutely awful.
All right.
So there's my point. The Browns are on their way.
There.
There's a long
the league, which isn't bad.
Long road to go. In the AFC, Bills, Chiefs, Ravens. Everybody else get out of the way. If Clowney, now here's the one thing, and I think it's a good thing. If Clowney comes to Cleveland, the Browns are really going to have, they better get the AFC Championship game.
You want Clowney?
The way the Browns are structured now, yes, because they're not relying on Clowney to do a lot. They're asking Clowney to be part of the team, which I think is good for Clowney. I like this. I like the way the Browns are doing it. They're structuring it like a team.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically saying, we want you to come in for running situations, and we're going to put McKinley in for passing.
Right.
Billings, running. Jenkins, passing. Shelley, all the time. Myles Garrett, all the time. If you get tired, we got guys to back you up. We're good. Walker, running plays.
Right.
Like, they're doing things. It's like, this makes sense. They've solved their safety issues.
Yep.
They probably need another cornerback. Okay. But it's like they've gone. This reminds me of the 90s Indians and 2007, 15, 16 Cavs, where it's like we're adding on players where it's like we don't need Richard Jefferson, but man, we'll take him. It's like
for certain holes for certain times.
That's my point.
Right.
Like, it reminds me of Richard Jefferson. That's exactly what it reminds me of. Where it's like, yeah, we might forget about him, but boy, we didn't forget about him in Game 3 in the NBA Finals.
Right. Yeah, and I think Clowney brings more than just a fill-in. Clearly,
that's my point.
Right, but he is going to be. I think, like I said, it was more about, does he fit the Browns? That was.
I agree.
That's what that visit was also for. So it's just like coming in for a job interview. You know, it's like, yeah, it's got to be a fit on both ends.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
So
I agree. Look, Clowney coming to Cleveland would be great. The only thing is, and I'm going to start shouting it, and it's fine. I think this team's ready for it. Browns are AFC Championship or bust. You got to get to the AFC Championship game. You get Clowney.
It's going to be a tough season, Andy. This is no last season.
Oh, it will be fun. It's going to be great. We'll have some
a great test. I think last year was a great stepping stone into this.
Yeah. There's so many moments with this team that I saw growth. And then the playoff game aside, obviously in Pittsburgh. And even the Chiefs game, the Browns didn't play well against the Chiefs. They still almost won. They almost won that game.
We were so close.
God. If I were a neutral fan, I'd be like, I'm putting a lot of chips on the Browns. They are ready to rock and fucking roll. Like, this is 90s, 15, 16 Cavs. 90s Indians, 15, 16 Cavs. It's like, we're adding Oral Hershiser. We don't need him, but we're adding him. We're adding Eddie Murray. Don't need him, but we're adding him. We don't need J.R. Smith. We're gonna bring him in. We don't need Richard Jefferson. We're gonna bring him in. We think it's gonna help. It's just, I just feel like for the first time, it's like we're adding Clowney, and you're right. He's not a fill-in player, but we're just adding him
to already something really good. I mean, I think that whole mindset switches of we're adding and continuing to build. We're not starting from scratch again. We're so used to that. And I think a lot of these, players that have kind of come off the board, that, we thought Andrew Berry might go for. And remember, you and I were talking about grabbing a big name, get a big name. And I think that we get so caught up in that because of our past fandom and what we've experienced that we feel like we have to get something like that. And we have to get, and we see these names dropping like flies. We're like, oh my God, what we're going to do? We're done.
Last year, we lost Nick Chubb for 4 games. You didn't even remember that. You don't even remember it. We didn't have our head coach for a playoff game.
Do you think about that? That's insane.
That's insane.
That game, it brings me so much joy. I sat on my couch by myself. Oh. And I did not move off that damn couch because I was so afraid if I did. I was like, the first two touchdowns, I was like speechless to the point where, and then, I started jumping up and down and I look across the way and I see my neighbor. They're across the street, but our windows kind of look at each other and he's like, yeah, Baker jersey. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, back at you, dude. It was like everyone, you could see people in windows. It was so fun. And And all I could think about was like, I wish I could be around so many people right now. Like,
yes.
So I really hope that's why I think too, with things turning a corner back to what we first started talking about with sports being back, there's so much around that. Like you always say, it's about watching, sports ratings have been down, I think to a certain extent, like you say, because of you're not watching it with people. You're not gathered around. I agree. It's a that type of event. And it's like, now it's going to be back.
Oh,
wait.
Holly and I talked about this. I don't have a lot of money at times. I'm thinking about getting Brown season tickets just because I fucking want to be together. I won't go to every game. I just want
to go to the ones that you don't need that you don't go to.
Yes. Will you be a good friend and take those tickets? Thank you.
I guess. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a good friend. What can I say?
You are a good friend. You are a good friend. You eat too much cheese, but you're a good friend.
Andy, I almost lost my life last week.
Why?
On an airplane.
Oh no! Oh.
So you would have been one last friend.
Oh no!
In your life.
For people who don't know, Holly is one of the best aunts ever. She's going for the best aunt award of the 2021 year.
So
she's in a she's in a race with several other great women out there, but Holly really participates well in nieces and nephews' lives.
I do.
She participates well on Facebook, Instagram, many other platforms to show how she loves, and she does. Holly is such a good person, warm heart, really, 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 really cool person. But she is a hustler. Like I say things, and it's like when I get on a plane to go see my brother's about ready to have. I'm about ready to become an uncle for the first time. He's about ready to have a kid. And I already started thinking, my God, I got the Wetzel pressure. I don't know. I got to get on a plane and go to Columbus and drag my ass there. It's like, damn, like I got things to do. This girl hustles. So you went to Charlotte, and how was the flight?
Well, that's what I'm talking about, is the fact that my life was in danger for the pure fact that I flew through a tornado watch. I've been on a plane
I did not know that.
years. I have pretty bad anxiety that I've suffered with throughout my life, and I have a fear of planes and flying, and I have a fear of heights. And I also had a very large fear of tornadoes when I was growing up.
I hate tornadoes.
All of my fears, Andy, came to a head at the same time on this flight.
During COVID.
The guy next to me, the plane, were warned like barely by the pilot, but you take those warnings sometimes with a grain of salt because you just don't really know. We went through, he's like, we got to land. So it's going to, I'm sorry in advance, buckle up. I'm thinking, yeah, right. And it just started, the drops, the real high drops, ton of those, bins opened above, stuff falling out. Guy next to me is almost as bad as I am, if not worse. So I'm like, my intention, I immediately grab his arm because I just, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just.
Oh, that's so sweet.
He was very nice. But then I had it there, and then I look over, and with his other hand, he grabs the puke bag. And I'm like, fuck that. Don't move my hand away. And if this guy vomits, I'm vomiting. There's no way that the seat I'm in, if this guy just, starts throwing up. Like I can't.
Sir, it's just a video of strength for me.
It was so bad. So we finally land. And my brother was picking me up. I texted him, and he was like, I ended up landing an hour late. Didn't even know. He's like, you were up in the air forever. He's like, it just kept circling. And then, so finally when we land, the pilot's like, look to your left, look at what we just went through. And it was a black shelf of clouds. And then, so I am just like shaking when I get off this plane. I mean, I am a disaster. My brother picks me up. I'm telling him about it. I was crying. It was a very dramatic. Well, when I got off the plane, I was crying. And then he picked me up. We're driving to his house. And then my sister-in-law says there's tornado sirens going off. There's a tornado warning now right over his exit where he lives. Andy, I was a disaster. I was like, this is it. It's the end. This is the end.
I agree with Damien on Facebook. Poor Holly. This sure is one hell of an experience.
Yeah, it was not fun. So I thank you, my lucky stars, that I am here because I was, for the first time ever, probably in my life, I was very worried about my safety. I mean, it was, and then the icing on the cake was the guy taking the vomit bag, and I was like, the world, this is it. This is how I'm going. This is how I'm going to go in a plane. My biggest fear.
Sir, can you help me? Okay, never mind.
Never mind. Grabbing your arm, grabs me with the other hand, and I'm like, and so then actually when he landed, he looked at me and he was like, "Oh, I don't do well with motion sickness," and I was like, "You think?" And then he's like, "I haven't been on a plane like that bad in over 25 years. A flight that bad."
And you got your mask on so you can't breathe properly?
Oh, that shit came off. Andy, I couldn't. It was bad. All right. I pushed myself up off the side, off the window. My leg is doing that. It was bad. So anyway, I'm happy to be here and alive, that your friend is still around. So, and this is what I do as an aunt for my nieces and nephews, risking my life. You're welcome.
Well, I hope Jim Wetzel had bourbon and cheese ready. Because I'd be like, I don't give a fuck what my cholesterol says. I need a block of cheese and some wine. Yeah.
I got back and I had a quite the strong beverage.
Yeah. So. That's one of those moments too. Like, I don't know how you are, but it's like at some point I just need like a moment just to get.
Oh, I got off the plane and I went into the bathroom and he was like, well, let me know when you're, coming out. I was like, all right,
Oh, poor Ollie.
I had to get myself together. I mean, it definitely shakes you, and it's funny. One of my things, what I would do to gauge whether or not the flight was going to be bad, I would look at other people getting off the plane of where I'm going on. So I'm like looking at other faces. I'm like, is that person look worried or sweaty or crying? Asking each person I came out. I walked out.
Oh, they have armpit stains. Yeah, been there.
Exactly. So I walk off that plane, and I am everything that I look for.
Oh yeah, like dried up spit.
I want to be like, you guys just wait. You wait until you get on this next plane, because I hope that if you're looking at my face to see if it was a bad flight, the answer is yes. All of the above. So anyway.
Woo!
Thanks for letting me share my story. Cheers to being alive.
Cheers. Cheers. Well, we were going to talk about Paramount Plus, but we only have 2 more minutes.
Yeah, I know.
So we're going to save it.
You want to? We'll save that. You want to do Cavs? You want to talk a little bit more?
Yes, you knew where I was going to go. Next episode, we're going to talk about the Viacom CBS fall, Peacock, and all these different ranges. But I think for timing, we won't do that. Here's the basic scoop. And I don't know what the latest is, and I can check on my phone. Drummond's going to get bought out. It was so obvious. Why in the hell would you make a trade for the Cavs for a bad contract and just a mess? It's a mess. Forget the talent. The amount of money you have to exchange, just forget it. It's just, there's no way.
It's been sitting since February 12th, Andy. That's crazy. That's nuts.
That's nuts. And then they traded JaVale McGee for 2 second-rounders and a guy who I read about online. I go, okay, I want to read about this guy. His name is Isaiah. He's from Germany. Okay, let's read about him. He's got great potential. Okay, everything. Potential. Great. Let's see. Okay, here's the cons. He misses a lot of easy layups, has a temperament problem, has a hard time finding himself on the basketball floor. Oh, good. Perfect.
Fit right in.
Perfect. Hey, welcome to Cleveland, dude. Has a temperament problem, misses a lot of easy layups. Not just layups, easy layups.
It did say easy.
Easy layups.
Cows are right. I just
make this fucking shit up.
Remember when we started off so
God. We need Mercy Hurst back on here. Look, I get it because this I'm just gonna say now, this kid Isaiah is a long shot. Because that is a nasty report. Well, he's got potential. He's got a big wingspan. He's tall. He's from Germany. It's like, okay.
It's almost like he was a little bit more of a throw-in, though, right? I mean,
Holly, here's the funny thing. The Cavs have to actually play him because guess who's a backup center now for Jared Allen? It's not Andre Drummond. And he just traded JaVale McGee.
Right.
This boy Isaiah is going to play a lot of minutes.
Well, they see something that we just don't. So this will be an interesting. I don't know, Andy. It's pretty bad. I want to say how could it get worse, but it could. I guess it could always get worse.
Misses easy layups. Well, good. Perfect. Hey, great.
Season needs to end.
God, it is getting there. We are finally there, Cavs fans.
Yeah.
Sounds like Chetty can't make layups and can't establish himself on the court. Yeah, exactly.
True.
Can we do a countdown ticker when that guy's gone?
I know.
My God, he is awful. Woo!
Yeah, way more of a pain than what it's worth.
Guy has a great headband, great hair. Hey, I can't get him there, but my God, guy can't fucking play. Got a great head of lettuce. Guy can't play. Nice guy. Did a Head and Shoulders commercial in Europe.
Did he?
It was very good.
How do you know that?
Oh, I saw it. It's very good. It's very good.
It's the most random thing.
Yeah, I saw it. It's very good. Can't play with a fucking lick, but he does. Well, he has.
He's getting Head and Shoulders money.
Yeah. To Damien's comment on Facebook, really JaVale McGee. I don't know what to say. I mean, here's where I'm going with this team. This is just hope and prayers. Hope and prayers. Hope and prayers.
Well, we just want to get to the end. Look, there's so much work to be done, and it just you want to not. I want to stay out of any embarrassing situations again. Any embarrassing.
Good point, Holly Wetzel.
We need to get out of that. We just need to stay consistent to a certain extent. Stay competitive. Don't get blown out. Try to get some W's against some teams that look, won against the Bulls the other night. I mean, we got to get some W's.
That was a good win. See, Holly's saying what I'm saying. I used to say to kids when I was coaching T-ball and stuff, and we were losing bad, and his mother started laughing hysterically. My son plays lacrosse, and one time they were getting absolutely drilled. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. It was bad. The dirt getting lapped, and the kids looked at me at one point, and Jackson's my son. He looked at me at one point. I'm like, it's almost over. And the mother started laughing. I'm like, just got 2 more quarters. Like, we'll get through this. I'm sure they'll call it almost over. What Holly's basically saying is almost over.
Just got to get through it.
Almost over. Does Kobe Altman make it to next year?
I don't know. Who's running the team right now? That's a big question mark. That was questioned this week, wasn't it? Who's running the team?
I don't think
it's still Dan.
Sounds like Grant Gilbert, right? That's a good article.
It was a good article. Well, it'll be interesting to see what they do, because it's how much is Dan really involved? That they keep they keep it very close to the vest. So we'll find out.
We'll find out. Damien has a good ending comment. I think that I would not be crying if Altman left.
Yeah, no, but JB should. I would like
I like JB.
He's a good fit. I don't think he's the issue.
This is a rare time where a Cleveland team is really shitty, and I actually like the coach, though. I do like JB. I do. And here's why the Cavs are, last thought for me. The Cavs are very weird to me because I'm seeing certain things I do like. Garland's improved.
Potential.
I do. I see things. They're not gelling, but it's like I like Jared Allen, Sexton, Garland. This Dean Wade, Lamar Stevens improvement is impressive. It's good. But they need a shooter or two. They needed some help with forwards. Kevin Love's exhausting. What's going on with center behind Jared Allen? It makes you worried. This guy, Isaiah, I hope he plays well. I hope he fits his potential.
I think they're trying to do with what they have, and I get it. And I think we're just trying to ride out the rest of the year.
Again, almost over.
Almost over.
Will you be watching? And I'll take this last comment, then we'll get out of here. I have liked JB since he took over. They get good wins. They play some good ball games, and that's exactly my point, Damien. I agree with you. Like Holly brought it up, and I should remember. Like the Bulls game was a good win. They didn't play without Sexton, and they won. Okoro shut down Zach LaVine in the second half. That was a good win. That was a really good win. You don't even fucking remember it.
All right. Well, that's what I mean. We just need to keep no blowouts, no whammies,
Yeah.
right? Let's just
Pressure luck. My God, that's a great. We're take your game show. Price is Right. We're spinning that fucking wheel. We're at 35 cents. We better not get 70, but let's play for 65 and under.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're at. Will you watch any of the tournament this weekend? Sweet 16. Will you watch any of it?
Yeah, I'm packing. I'm moving, so I'll be packing.
Oh my God, that's right. Is that this week?
Not till the week of like the 17th ish, but it's that week technically. But I haven't my apartment is a fucking disaster right now. I just have shit everywhere, boxes everywhere, things have packed. But I need to keep going. I need to pack. My sister's birthday's next weekend.
Oh wow.
Going to my friends. I got plans. I have friends.
Busy.
Andy. I got things. I got people to see.
Busy.
Places to go.
Busy.
So I'll be packing and watching some basketball for sure.
Good to have you back, Joe. Miss you. Please no more Cavs talk. These guys are already starting 5. That would be a 6-man anywhere else.
I disagree with you, Joe.
Joe. You might be right. But we gotta talk about him. Wait till we start talking about the. Look, there's a lot of things here. Well, it's nice seeing. Oh, Joe, we love you, Joe. Joe, we love you.
I agree with you, so I don't know.
I know. I love you, Joe. I miss you, Joe. You had some good comments the last few shows. I'm here.
Jeez, Joe. Gosh.
You scared me. Don't leave. Click like. Good to see you, Joe. Damian, good to see you. Watch the tournament. Cavs, get ready for a guy, according to his scouting report, says he misses layups. Easy layups. Should be exciting. The Browns are exciting, and it's got to have sports back. And that's where we're at. Holly, Jared, and I will be live from the draft in a month from now. Stay tuned for all those details. Holly might be in the pit. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
We could have we could actually have a sideline reporter. That'd be fun.
That's right.
Holly Wetzel, we're going to go to you on the set. Holly,
What do you say? She muted herself. She got so excited. She unplugged herself. There we go. There we go, Holly. You're back. She just failed. Poor girl. Finally got her big time. Couldn't turn her mic on.
I turned my mic off the first second I grabbed it. So
She finally got into the pit of a football game and she couldn't turn her mic on. She had her lens cap on her camera.
Grab it.
Yeah.
Turn the mic off. That's the worst thing you could do for your first sideline reporting gig.
I'm so glad we're testing this out.
Me too.
That way we don't fuck it up live. We'll be on live Instagram. We'll be live Instagram live. Joe, Damian, Drew Salt. Good to see you all. Back next week. Closer to opening day by then. So we'll talk probably a little bit more Indians.
Yep.
And then we'll see where we are at the tournament. And we'll get to see this big guy, Isaiah, from Germany. I keep saying this, but I'll close with Joe because Joe's been great at the end. Browns killed in Browns killed it free agency. Addition minus subtraction. Claiborne will be missed. I agree with most of your statement. Claiborne did not play well, in my opinion, last year. So I don't think they're going to miss the defensive end, Claiborne. In fact, the one thing I've been impressed with this team, Joe, Johnson's press conference, McKinley's press conference, Walker's press conference, they all came here to do one thing, win games.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be missing him next year.
No. Damian, great job. Peace out, homies. Have a great weekend. We will be back next week. Just remember, eat your cheese in portions. If you're on a flight and it's bad, don't grab the vomit bag. Try to keep everyone around it.
Grab the Xanax. That's what you do.
Tough it out. Embrace the suck. Bye.